So it's Saturday, June the 12th, 2021, and welcome to AWL London's June event 2021. So here we are, we're sitting, let's imagine we're not in our homes. We are imagining that we are in the splendid surrounding of l'Institut Français in South Kensington. And there I am on the stage talking to you with Benoît getting ready for his bit there in the wings. And I ask AWL committee members normally to welcome you as you come in, and that's what's been happening. And there are some of them there are some of their smiling faces, including we obviously now have gone on to Zoom for our committee meetings, although we're really looking forward to meeting up together. I'm hoping at Christmas we'll have our Christmas meal. So those of you who are here, AWL committee members, please do introduce yourselves in the chat, but it'd be great for other people as well. Any of you who are here, could you all talk to each other? Could you all write in the chat who you are? It's the big thing about our events is you get this lovely buzz where people talk to each other and renew old acquaintances, but also make new friends. So please use the chat to do that. Okay, so are you, yeah, there we are. That's what we're normally like, all sitting there. So please do introduce yourselves now in the chat. So are you a member of AWL? So please could you write now if you are and tell us what benefits there are of being in AWL. We run this event primarily to give members a chance to meet face to face and to feel that camaraderie of being in an association, as well as having really superb speakers. And obviously we also use the event to encourage people to join us, to join our association. Usually you'll have had to pay a bit to come here. There's a massive discount for AWL members. They normally only just pay £10, but today it's free for all. Volunteers have put in their time to set things up. We've paid for the Zoom room. We'll be giving a token payment to the speakers, but we will take on that cost. So we really, really hope that if you're not a member, you'll like us and you'll want to join today. I'm now going to ask Judith to talk to us, who will give you a really good reason why you should join today. Over to you, Judith.
Thank you so much, Helen. So please do join us at AWL to get the whole range of benefits. We've got a website where you can explore all the different elements of our membership, including access to the Language Learning Journal and the Languages Today magazine that will come to your home a couple of times a year with loads of articles by teachers, for teachers. And we've also got loads of resources by our corporate members, but also specific zones. And those I'd like to just draw your attention to today, the language zones. Those are zones that are created by teachers, for teachers, with loads of teaching and learning materials. And we have zones in those languages at the moment. So for Italian, German speakers, Russian, for the Hispanic and Portuguese world, and Francophonie. And we're super excited to now launch, with the help of extraordinary volunteers who've given up their time freely, Arabic languages teachers and Chinese Mandarin languages teachers who have shared their resources generously and have developed two new zones, the Arabic language zone and the Chinese language zone. You can see a little snippet here from the websites that have been created, and we're launching both sites. So the AWL Arabic zone launch is on the 22nd of June at 7 p.m. and the AWL Chinese language zone launch and show and tell is on the 23rd of June. In the chat, you can find the Eventbrite link, so please do sign up, do join us. And if you would like to contribute to the Arabic zone or the Chinese zone or any of the other zones, please do get in touch with us at info@awl/languages.co.uk. We'd love to have your contribution. If you'd like to tell us about an event that you attended, a resource that you have used and that you really like, a book that you've read that you'd recommend for teachers, or any resource or any strategy that you'd like to share with other teachers. Please note that the Arabic and Chinese language zone is at the moment freely available for members and not members. But please do join AWL. You've got the discount code here. So if you join today, use ZLZ10 when you check out, and you can then get a 10% discount. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you so much to Judith, who is, as so many other people I know, but not only helping us with the AWL London Committee, but is doing something at a national level as well. So thanks so much for all that you're doing, Judith, and looking forward to Judith leading us in a show and tell later on, which we'll talk about in a moment. So there we are. Do join us. There's the discount code. Great association to join for the people, for the magazines, and for all of the resources that we have. As far as this event is concerned, or AWL London is concerned, there are lots of events which are coming up soon, but I just thought I would go through now the sorts of things which are happening in the future. So we've got loads coming up soon, and if you go onto our website there, or onto the national website, you can have links to them. So there we are, our first Arabic session there, something about short films and videos, on the 17th of June. There we go. And in that's in the afternoon. In the evening, we've got Nick Brown talking about extended project qualification. We've had the launch event launched, if you like. We've had a launch of the launch event by Judith just now. Really excited about that for the Arabic. And then that's on Tuesday. And then it's on the Wednesday that we've got the Chinese one. So you're going to be ever so busy this week, Judith, I can see. And the 24th, we've got Heidi True talking about how to use technology with languages. And then there's another event, which is to do with secondary teachers getting together. That's for AWL on Friday, the 25th of June. A roadshow on the 30th of June. First Fridays, that's when new teachers can come together. We've got one of those on the 2nd of July. The summer social on the 3rd of July. We had that last year. We had a great time together, didn't we, Judith? And others. So that's going to be an opportunity for you to join us. And we're even going through to the 8th of July. We've got someone coming to talk to us. And even the 15th of July, we've got someone from America coming, the US coming to talk to us. So lots going on. Anyway, let's get to today. And there we are. And that's our program for today. So everything's going to be here in this room, in the Zoom room, and I will keep it open all the time. I'll just stop the recording at the end of each session. And please note that what we'll do is we'll make sure that the start times are all fixed. If it creeps on a little bit into the 5 minutes extra, that might happen. But the start times will always be at the same time. And we know that people have to come and go, so don't worry about that. So what have we got here? This is our welcome. Benoît's going to speak, and then Greg's going to be speaking to us for about an hour, 11:10 to 10 to 11:10. Then a little coffee break. Well, I'm afraid you've got to go and get your own coffee. Then Stephen's going to be with us for an hour, then a short lunch break, and then we've got the show and tell, which is coming at 1:30. And for that, some people have already, it's lovely, we've had people already sign up to say they're going to do that. But if something occurs to you during the time, that's absolutely fine, just to join in. And it's flexible here, we'll go on longer. If there are more people who want to show and tell, that's absolutely fine. And normally we would go out, wouldn't we, for a nice little, meal together, or go and do something cultural. Oh, we do miss this. But anyway, we've got our social, so you can come along to that. So now it's my great pleasure to invite Benoît Le Dévédec from the Institut Français to speak to us. He's been so generous over the years in letting us use this wonderful space, which is at l'Institut Français, with its lovely cinema. It's got the Médiathèque, it's got a library. It's just a lovely place to be. So we're really, really sad that he is coming to the end of his assigned time in the UK. It's a secret as to where he's going next, but at some point when he knows, you'll let us know, won't you, Benoît, so that we can keep in touch. So thank you so much for all you've done. We really do want to wish you well for the future. And then afterwards, we'll be going into a session with Greg Horton at 10:10. So now I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to invite Benoît to speak to us about what is there in l'Institut Français for us.
Thank you very much. Bonjour. Merci beaucoup, Hélène. Thank you very much for this very warm, kind introduction. So I am Benoît le Dévédec, the French language attaché from the Institut Français. I'm actually speaking from the Institut Français, from the listed library. I'm very lucky, the building is empty, so I can enjoy this big library just all to myself. I wish you were all here with me today, but of course, given the circumstances, it was a bit difficult for everyone and to plan this here in London, but hopefully this will happen very soon. And on se reverra bientôt. We will meet again soon here at the Institut Français. So I will just have a very short presentation, an overview of some of the resources that are for French, for teaching French, wishing that those of you here who do not teach French yet might be encouraged to use some of these resources. And of course, those of you who already teach French can find new resources to use in the classroom with a specific focus on culture, because that's the main point of this morning's presentations. I mean, there's a high level of cultural component, cultural ingredients to add to the language classroom in the presentations that will follow this very short introduction. So I will focus on these cultural components, mostly music, and also cinema, because these are great media to work on languages, to inspire and motivate students as well. So before we get into some of the resources, I want to remind everyone that we have this EFProf platform. So EFProf is a free collaborative platform for teachers of French around the world and in the UK. And it has already 46,500 members. It keeps growing. Now there are 109 member countries around the world. So you see all these dots are countries that have joined EFProf, and they have their own home country pages. So if I click on the UK page, we land on our page, Royaume-Uni. We have 2,257 members, so it's also growing a lot. In only 3 years, we've reached over 2,000 members, which is great. And the aim of the platform, which is made by teachers for teachers, a bit like ALL website, is to share resources for French. And so you have teachers in the UK sharing resources from primary to higher education. And that's just for the UK, but you also get all of the information from the Institut Français, for instance, Journée Internationale des Professeurs de Français, French Teachers Day, all of the material, all the presentations, all the events, the CPD that we are running throughout the country, they're all advertised here. And you can find all of the replay video recordings there as well. So it's all free to join, very easy to join. I will share the link later on. And if you go back to the main country page, let me get back here. Then you will get resources from any teachers around the world. So you see there's someone, Dilara Adas, she's a teacher from Turkey. She has published resources about Lupin, the great French series, which is now available for the second season. And I just checked her page, and Dilara has already published 3 resources on the first season, and she's now publishing on the second season, and these are very, very good quality resources. I think I've got a page already uploaded here, and so she's actually teaching from the University of Marmara in Istanbul, and you see that she has already published these resources. So if you click here, then you access the resources that she has published, so you can visit the link to watch the episode, I guess, probably on Netflix. And then you can access a PDF of the document she has prepared for students. There's also the CEFR European level that is mentioned, so that it guides you in choosing the presentation ahead of using it, of course. So I highly encourage you to join that platform, because there are more and more users. So it means that there is more and more content published, and higher and higher quality content as well. Something else is that if you have not joined that page as well on YouTube, you've got the Institut Français de Paris. So that's the mothership of all the Institut Français. And they have a French language section, which is making available all of the video recordings of the EFProf webinars that they've been running over the past 2 or 3 years now. And there's been an increasing number of webinars available. And these webinars invite practitioners, teachers of French, heads of languages from all around the world, from the EFProf community, to share their best practices on a specific topic. So for instance, here there's something about hybrid and blended learning, how to use audiobook in the language classroom. And we are actually, I will be participating in an upcoming webinar this Thursday at 1 p.m., which is about how to use songs to teach French, or how to use songs to promote the teaching and the learning of French abroad. And I will be joined by Susie Buell, who is maybe many of you already know Susie. Of course, she's a member of ALL, and she's also president of Alliance Française de York, and she's been quite strongly invested in our French pop video competition, together with ALL, who is also an official partner. So if you go on EFProf, you will find the link. I will share the link for you to register. It's free to sign up, and there will be other guests. Besides Susie and I, there will be Michel Boiron. Michel Boiron is the director of CAVILAM, Alliance Française de Vichy. So CAVILAM is probably one of the most famous international French teachers training centers in the world. I will present some of their training opportunities this summer as well later on. And we've got my colleague from the Institut Français in Germany, who's been running a similar French language competition for teachers throughout the country for several years now. So I think you will find useful information and maybe inspiration to join the French pop video competition in the next year. And speaking of the French pop video competition, I'm happy to say that we've published yesterday the winners of the regional competition. So the competition actually drew 61 schools this year, from primary to sixth form level, so to secondary. We received 61 videos from across the 4 nations. The quality of the content was very good. It was very hard for our juries to determine the winners. And I thank Stephen Fawkes, who is with us today, who was part of the Northern Region jury, among other people as well. So the 19 regional winners are on this playlist. That's on Francophonie UK website, because this is basically a project that is sponsored by Francophonie UK. So a group of French-speaking delegations, diplomatic delegations in the UK. And we've got some great videos. I won't be playing them to you now, but I really encourage you to watch all of these videos. And on this channel, you will find also the videos from previous editions of the French pop video competition. So that's the 2020 and 2019 pop video competition editions. So they are great materials, of course, to show to your students, to tell them that it's possible to learn and sing in French, and to make some music that is original music, because we do not accept cover in this competition. The music and the lyrics have to be original, but it doesn't have to be complicated, and you can do it in a very fun and stimulating way with your pupils. That was about music, and you will learn more during our webinar with IF Paris, Institut Français Paris, sorry, this Thursday with Susie Buell. But there's something also very interesting that is run by Institut Français Paris, which is called Les Pépites Internationales 2021. And that's about children's and youth literature, together with the Salon de la Presse, la littérature jeunesse de Montreuil. So that's Children's Literature Festival in the east of Paris. And with this festival, pupils from around the world basically are invited to vote for their best novel. So they are not really novels, they are basically children's illustrated books. So they are not really novels, but they are novels for young children with illustration. And you've got a selection basically for primary and a selection for secondary. And you can read all of this, the titles and the authors here. And there's also a comics book selection and resources that are pedagogical resources to work on these books with your students based on their age and CF4 fluency level in French. And you can find all of these resources basically on CultureTech. So that's a good occasion for me to speak about CultureTech. CultureTech is our digital online library. It's free. We are the only country in the world which makes CultureTech free. So you do not have to be a member of an Alliance Française or of an Institut Français. You can just sign up on CultureTech and access 200,000 free resources, ebooks, magazines, teaching resources as well. And you can join this Pépites de la littérature jeunesse francophone festival here as well, by finding all of the books that I mentioned in their ebook formats. So you don't need to buy the books. You can just sign up your students. All of the contents on Culture-Tech are safe. There is nothing inappropriate that you can find on Culture-Tech. So your students, your pupils can sign up, or their parents, if you feel that it's more appropriate for their parents to sign up. And you'll find a selection of books from the festival in their ebook formats for the 3-7-year-old categories, and for the 8-14-year-old categories, as well as the 8-16-year-old categories. And that's for comic books, that's for BD. So that's a great way of setting up a children's literature event in your school, and motivate different classes learning French, maybe to read a couple of books or to start working on some of the books. You decide on which books you'd like to select based on the level of your students. Using illustrated books is a great way of familiarizing your students with the French language, discovering the French language, and it makes it easier for them to learn because of all of the images as well, which are giving meaning to words. And then you select and you participate in the international selection of this festival. So basically your school, your students become active jury members of something that is international. And there might be also a vote within your school. So you can create a festival at various levels, at your class level, at your school level, even at the country level, because at Culture-Tech UK, we'll be able to gather the votes from all of the participants in the UK. And then all of these votes will count towards the international vote as well. So something that is, again, free, very interesting, and based on authentic cultural resources with contemporary children's illustrated literature. That's all for Culture-Tech. Another very, very resourceful website is EF Cinema. So EF Cinema makes a selection of movies available for teachers and schools. So you can sign up, it's free, and then you can basically download movies to use them in your classroom. There are even selections of movies that are available on demand to be watched online directly, like on Netflix. And so they are basically organized in themes. So you've got all of these themed cycles. So they've just gathered a selection of movies for Fête de la Musique, World Music Day, at the end of July. So you can use these movies, to work on the theme of music as well. But all of these movies come from the diversity of French-speaking cinema around the world. So it's not just French cinema from France, it's French-speaking, French language cinema from around the French-speaking world. And among these resources, there are resources that are specifically dedicated to learning French. So I just saw you Fête de la Musique, Journée de la Terre, so that was about the environment, Earth Day, César French cinema, so some movies that were nominated for the César. Let me go down. Also short movies for children. So, and they all come with pedagogical kits. So you can download kits to use in the classroom. So, but let's just have a look at the selection for French language, because you have selection specifically for learning French. So this selection is called Apprendre le français avec le cinéma. And the specificity of this selection is that they have more resources available to download. Again, these movies are all age appropriate. They can all be watched by children in a school age range. And they all come with different resources to download. So there are some animated movies as well. If I take a look at Swagé, so Swagé, a teen movie documentary. Swagé carries us in the midst of the astonishing minds of 11 teenagers growing up in one of the most underprivileged neighborhoods in France. So that might be something appealing to your students that makes them probably relate to these children as well, to these French students in France, something very contemporary and something that also is a great occasion to speak about the French banlieue, but not through the same movies that we've seen again and again, but maybe through a movie that is less known than some of the other movies. And here through a documentary, which will make it even more authentic. So if I click on Swagé, I see that I can download the full resource pack. So there are resources for the teachers, resources for the students. There are prints as well, visuals that you can print, like posters of the movie that you can print in the classroom. And I have downloaded the pedagogical teachers' notes and actually students' notes, and they give you all of the instructions. You can also print them. There are all of the exercises that are present here. And they're all based basically on different phases of the movie. Some activities can be done before, during, or after the movie. And they are based also on a specific CFR level. So I think that's, they're all free to use. Just take a look. There are 7 movies available in the French learning zone with all of these resources. I think that was all. Then I already shown you the. I've already shown you the resources from this teacher, Dilara Hadas, about Lupin. We're all excited about watching the 2nd season, of course. So that's great that some teachers have already published free resources on EFPROF. Now, maybe something about training opportunities. As I said, CAVILAM, which is the international, famous international French teacher training center in France, in the center of France, in Vichy, is organizing several teacher training sessions on site and online. Every year, the Institut Français offers about a dozen scholarships to offer free training sessions with CAVILAM to teachers of French in British schools, in state sector schools in priority. So this year we've got about a dozen teachers who will participate in this program. What is interesting is that their program is available in English. So if you're a primary teacher and you are not sure you understand everything about the topics of some of the sessions, you don't have to worry about it because their website is all translated in English. So it's easy to find the topics like this one, teaching communication skills in French, interaction, mediation, reception, production. Another one, motivate to learn, learn to motivate. Well, I don't know how many workshops they have, but they are running for 7.5 hours a week. So you've got an hour and a half every day if you sign up for a workshop. So you really have the time to go in depth and become a specialist of the subject that you're following. And you can sign up for these sessions throughout the summer in July till the end of August. And the pricing is very, very reasonable. I mean, one course is only 125 euros. As I said, it's 7.5 hours of training for one course. And the price goes down with the number of sessions you take. Now, if I speak about CAVILAM, I must speak about the other famous international French teacher training center in France called Centre de Linguistique Appliquée à Besançon, also known as CLA. It's the equivalent of CAVILAM, but it's based at the University of Besançon, and there are some of the best trainers of teachers of French around the world as well from France. Their website is also available in English, and they are offering similar theme training sessions, theme-based training sessions, teaching young learners. And I think that the format is about similar to the one of CAVILAM and similar pricing as well. So take a look at this. Of course, I will share all of these links later on. Another one, I spoke about CAVILAM, I spoke about Centre de Linguistique Appliquée, and there's another one that I should be talking about, which is France Éducation Internationale. France Éducation Internationale was known earlier as CIEP, Centre International d'Études Pédagogiques, and it's part of the French Ministry of Education, and they specialize in training teachers of French as a foreign language abroad. And so they are basically the public equivalent of CAVILAM or Centre de Linguistique Appliquée. And they have a great program for teachers every year called the BELC. So it's also a summer teacher training camp with many modules, many sessions. These sessions are running from early July till mid-August. And you can choose between different formats. There are courses that can last up to 15 hours. That can be done in a synchronous way, so you have to attend at certain hours, but there are a lot of modules that are also available asynchronously, basically, so you can just follow them whenever you want, and then you've got a tutor helping you and monitoring your progress in the module. So I won't get into the details because there are so many themes and modules, from teaching to young learners to teaching to a heterogeneous group, differentiated pedagogy, active learning, and all that. So I'll invite you to check their website. I'll share the link later on as well. Getting back to London, I want to remind everyone that we are still running school activities. So we've got cultural workshops for students from primary to secondary. These workshops are running at the Institut Français. So we have resumed activities at the Institut Français for schools, for groups of students from primary to secondary. And we are also offering these activities online from your school. So if you can have basically the activity using your smart board, and one of our instructors will be delivering the content with you through the smart board of your classroom. If you want to brush up your French and do some linguistic upskilling, I invite you to check our group courses as well. So we've got a whole array of different formulas, online, hybrid, on-site. We are resuming on-site activities for students as well. Whatever your level, from grand beginners to advanced, we've got everything that you need. And we are also running this year a summer camp for kids. So the summer camp for kids is available both on-site and online. So if this is of interest to your students, if they want to maintain their French skills during the summer, I invite you. Let me check where it is. It should be down somewhere. There's so many different courses that basically it's, oh, that's the one, young learners. So there's a French group, basically French courses that are running all summer on site and online. So I will send the link later on as well. If you work or live nearby in other areas than London, there's a network of Alliance Française. We've got 11 Alliance Françaises. Alliance Françaises are independent organizations, but they have the same mission of promoting the French language and culture in the UK, and they are part of our cultural network abroad. So here's the map, the active map. I'll share the link of all the Alliance Françaises and also of our other Institut Français in Scotland, in Edinburgh, which is a branch of the Institut Français du Royaume-Uni. And they all offer language courses, cultural activities, for you and for your students. I think that's going to be all for me, but I want to announce as well that I will organize a very small raffle, a French raffle for participants today. So if you teach French at primary, I will be offering 6 Mallette TV5 Monde. So Mallette TV5 Monde is a activity box containing flashcards, board games, and a lot of other support activities that are already printed, that are solid, that can be used in the classroom, that your children can play with the flashcards. And I'll be offering 6 of these mallettes pédagogiques, and they can be used for teaching French for 3-year-olds to 11-year-olds. So it covers a whole range of ages in primary school. Of course, it's made for beginners, for learners of French as a foreign language. So it's a very, very small level of proficiency. It's A1.1, the first level of introduction to learning French. So if you want to take part in the raffle, that's very simple. Just private message me in the chat by mentioning your first and last names, as well as your email address. So I'm repeating, if you want to take part in the French raffle for primary, private message me in the chat from now on, sending me your first and last names and email address, and we will announce the results of the raffle at the end of Stephen Falk's presentation, shortly before lunch. So stay tuned, and I will make the announcement in the chat again to make sure that we have a lot of participants. But please do not hesitate to chat with me privately and sending me this information. I think that's all for me. If you need more information from the Institut Français, sign up for our newsletter or write an email to education@institutfrançais.org.uk, and we'll be happy to chat with you. Thank you very much, Helen. I'll hand it over to you. I just want to say that this is it's going to be my last ALL London presentation and last ALL presentation altogether. It's been a real pleasure and honor to work with you all, specifically with Helen, with Stephen, with a lot of people. I saluted Jennifer, whom we had the chance of inviting to a previous, Jennifer Wozniak, who invited at previous event. There are so many people I'd like to thank as well. Some of them are attending as well. It's been an honor to work over these 4 years. It's a specific situation for French, to say the least. But you're doing all a fantastic job in promoting languages and multilingualism all together. And I hope that I was able to help you as much as I could, and that you'll be continuing to fly the flag of languages and of French language in the UK, as you all do so well here under ALL or not, because there are so many community teachers around as well in this country. So thank you all very much, and let's stay in touch through social media, of course.
Thank you so much, Benoît. And you can see in the chat, everybody saying thank you very much. Judith, I think Judith is vying to be your #1 secretary. She's, as you've been talking, she's been putting links into the chat, and she's particularly said, in the name of everyone at ALL, massive thanks, Benoît, for all you have done to support ALL. And she's nodding there as well. So thank you ever so much. Really good. And if you would like to applaud or say things in the chat, that's great. Lovely. And perfect timing. Okay, so we're now lined up for Greg. So we'll see Benoît. Benoît's going to be with us during the rest of the session, and we'll be reminding you about the raffle. I'm now going to just stop the recording for this, and then we'll start again and stop that.